Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, May 29th, 2020. Welcome to another eBay video. As you can see, things are right back to normal. It's cloudy with on and off showers expected. I think no less than 10 people almost had a heart attack last week because we actually had a sunny day. But you guys can relax and sit back down because there are no more sunny days planned for a while. In today's video, I'm going to discuss the negative impact for sellers of eBay extending return periods to not just 35 working days, but over 35 working days, and I'm going to show you evidence to support this. We're also going to be talking about the fact that I have denied a return. We're going to be discussing your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. And I'm going to tell you about the eBay buyer from hell. I have been telling you about him on and off for the last month or so. Today, I'm going to recap everything, how it started, everything that went down. I'm going to tie everything together with a big culmination of the finale. Okay? Let's get started. Your comments, questions, and concerns. Victorian Sculptures wrote with this comment that I've truncated. It's amazing how many people want to return things and even pay for return shipping instead of simply listing it for sale in the same category they bought it from. So very true. People return so many things from me and lose money on the return. If they just relisted it, they could at the very least break even or possibly even make some coin. Also on returns, Tessa wrote, Joe, love the videos. I've had a lot of returns the past few months. When a buyer decides they don't want an item due to remorse, do you refund their original shipping? I couldn't remember. Thanks. The answer is absolutely not. I never, ever refund original shipping due to buyer remorse. If I did, I'd be going broke. You'll know more about that as the video goes on. On new eBay accounts, Ken McDougal wrote, Hey Joe, quick eBay question. I've been on eBay using one account since 2002 with 100% positive feedback rating and 808 transactions. About 6 days ago, I decided to open a second eBay account to sell other small items that are not in my niche on my main account. I know that eBay does not allow you to cross-promote accounts, and I'm working really hard to try and get that first sale on my new account so that I can have access to other eBay features like changing over to the new eBay Seller Hub and opening a second eBay store. I currently have about 36 active listings on that account. All are buy it now listings, all at reasonable and low prices. It's been almost a week now, and although I'm getting views and some watches, no sales of yet. My feedback rating still says 0. How can I get the word out about this new account if eBay won't let me cross-promote? Could you possibly touch on this question in a future video? Great show as always. Thanks for any advice you can pass on. Well, Ken McDougal, one thing I would suggest you to do with that second account, buy some cheap items that you need. Buy some cheap items, 5 or 6 things, and hope that those sellers leave you positive feedback. Because once you have a feedback of 1, 2, 3, whatever, people will be more confident to buy from you. I know that when people see a new seller with 0 feedback, many people are reluctant to buy from that seller because they think he's a fly-by-night or, dare I say, a fishy seller. Now we know that's not the case, but we want to alleviate their fears. So just buy a few cheap items from other eBay sellers and you should be alright. Charles Foreman wrote on bad buyers, and I truncated this comment for brevity as well. Joe, why is it that some buyers can swear like hell to some of us sellers in messages, all against eBay policy, yet have nothing done to them when you report these buyers to eBay? Joe, this just stinks, and it tells us sellers that buyers can do and say anything, even not pay for an item and get away with it on eBay. Lord knows what would have happened if it was us sellers that behaved like that. eBay would have been on our backs from the start. Thanks, Joe, for the great video again. Charles in the UK. I agree with you, Charles. I've had it happen to me where buyers cursed the crap out of me once I had somebody threaten to kill me. This was during the early days of eBay, and I reported them, and what did they get? A slap on the wrist, if that? I sadly feel that eBay does not enforce the same rules that it implements on sellers on buyers as well. That's my personal feeling. A few more comments and then I'm going to get into some new material. I had a couple of comments on that impromptu parade that I filmed last week. Wooden Stuff with Steve French wrote, honestly, I find parades to be a boring waste of time, even though I've been personally part of 9 parades. But the one you captured is one I'd attend all day, every day, year after year. Also on the parade, Matt Zolo wrote, haha, great parade, Joe. Best of 2020. Thank you, Matt. And I sent you some screenshots. Please make sure they get up there for this weekend because I'm moving forward on those fake copyright complaints. That being said, now let's get into the main topics of today's video. We're going to start out by doing a short cutaway. I want to show you guys my current open returns. I have so many that I cannot possibly show you them all in this particular cutaway, but let's get to these and we'll come back, we'll talk about it. Alright guys, today is May 29th, and I figured I would show you all of the open returns I have as of this point. This is only page number 1. This is the oldest one. You can see, look, April 21st is when it was requested. Today is May 29th, and there has been no activity on that whatsoever. Look at this one, April 27th, May 6th. Now, in all fairness to this guy right here, this guy, you may remember I talked about him a few weeks ago on a video. He purchased this hubcap for $15.30 plus shipping and thought he was getting all 4. This guy wrote to me and said he's decided to keep the item because it would cost him too much to return it. However, he has not closed out the return, and I know there is no chance he will, so I'm going to have to wait for it to time out naturally. Again, look at this. Almost everyone says waiting for a buyer to ship item. Everyone. Now, in all fairness, look, I want you to see this. Everyone doesn't fit, or ordered by mistake, found better price, doesn't fit. My point here is that these people, while they're not the brightest bulbs in the circuit, at least they're all honest and they have admitted they made the mistake. But I got to be honest with you, and I'm wondering if all these people are actually going to return the item. I mean, eBay is giving 35 working days, I understand, for buyers to return items, and I honestly think that is just too long. Now remember, this is only page number 1. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 3 more on the next page, but you get the idea, so we're going to leave it at that. Let's get back to the video right now. So yeah, guys, you saw those open returns where most buyers have not lifted a finger to even attempt to send the item back. I think eBay did all sellers a huge disservice by extending the return window to 35 working days or possibly longer. I have some open returns that are older than 35 days, and there is no way to close them out, so they're just hanging in limbo. I don't think those people are even going to send the item back. I know the one guy with the Honda isn't, because he wrote and he told me that. My sales have been very good. I have nothing to complain about as far as my sales, but I had another interesting return the other day I want to tell you about. I received a return request. Not unusual. I've been getting at least 2 a day now. And this one was different because eBay was giving me the choice whether I wanted to accept the return or not. Now, as you may know, I've been starting a new policy over the last few weeks. I am listing some items which I would call dog items, which I'm selling cheaper than normal, and I'm selling them as is with no returns, and I clearly state this in the listing according to eBay rules. We are allowed to do that. No sellers are forced to make returns. We don't have to do it. So I'm done playing. I am absolutely done, okay? With these dog items, as is, no returns, and I'm selling the items cheap. So I get this return request from this customer, and it's for an item that I clearly have listed as no returns. This particular guy really offended me, and I'll tell you why. He wasn't a regular civilian. He was actually a used car dealer. Somebody who should know better. So let's just say his user ID is John's Auto Sales. All right? So therefore, I know he's a car dealer. His reason for return was, these are not the exact right match. He was too lazy to walk out of his little trailer office and walk out into the lot and look to see if these match the vehicle. No, he just went ahead and bought them. Also, to compound things, I remember that he bought these on a Saturday, and the sale came in at approximately 1 o'clock p.m., and I had already been to the post office. But because his sale came in at 1, and because we're still not back to work here in the Northeast, I actually boxed his item right away, along with a couple of others that had just come in, and I took a second load to the post office later in the afternoon so that these buyers would get their items even quicker. Even though I have a 3-day handling time on all my listings because of the coronavirus pandemic. Well, quite frankly, I was very annoyed and I declined the return. I'm not ashamed to do it. In fact, I'm going to brag about it. I declined the return. This morning, I get a letter, an eBay contact from this guy. How come you decline the return? I said, it clearly says in the listing, all sales final, no returns. Guys, for those of you who don't take returns on certain items, I'm curious what you would have done in this case and how you handle your returns on items that you specifically say you do not take returns. Comment below, please. Before I continue with the main topic of today's video, which is the customer from hell, I'm going to take a drink from the ceremonial Fox News Cup O' Life. This is the ceremonial Fox News Cup O' Life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. All right, guys. Now I'm going to tell you about the fishiest customer I have had in as long as I can remember. This guy is beyond belief. For those of you guys who've been watching my videos for the last month or so, you're going to recognize the story at the very beginning because I've mentioned this cat before. He's just so over-the-top unbelievable, and wait till you hear the climax and the ending. You're going to love it. You're going to love it! So here's how it all went down. It's so long that I had to actually type out notes so I don't forget several things that happened. So here's how it started. About a month and a half ago, I decided to send out offers to watchers, which is something I do quite a bit, although my success rate is extremely low. One of the items that I sent an offer to a watcher was accepted. The buyer clicked accept, but he navigated away from the pay screen, which is a very common thing. So I sent him an invoice. Several days passed, he didn't pay me. So I opened an unpaid item case. The next day, the buyer writes to me and says, I don't have enough money to pay for these items. If you will lower the price, I can pay for them today. You must remember that, because I brought this up a few weeks ago, how I was so chagrined by that statement. And I wrote back to him and I said, no deal. You cannot change terms of any eBay sale after the sale has been consummated. So several days go by, I don't hear anything from him. So I figured for sure he wasn't going to pay me. But on the last hour of the last day, he paid. That surprised me. So it was around maybe, let's just say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I hurriedly boxed those caps up and I made sure they went out same day. Now keep in mind, this was during the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, when shipping was extremely slow here. The next day after I shipped the items to him, the buyer writes to me and says, I'm not sure if these hubcaps are going to fit my car. I wrote back, too bad. You should have checked that ahead of time. Next day after that, he writes to me and says, where is my item? Today was the expected delivery date stated by eBay, and I don't have the item here. Keep in mind, this is the guy that's kept me waiting about 8 days to pay, but yet he thinks he's going to get those caps on the expected delivery date in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. I wrote back to him, I sent him screenshots of the tracking, and I explained about the coronavirus pandemic. 2 days later, he writes to me again, I still don't have my item. When he did that, I knew beyond any doubt the guy was a loco, a psycho, a screwball, and that I was going to have to cease communications with him immediately. The next day, he writes to me again, the eBay contact system. These do not fit my car. I'm saying nothing. I'm done. This guy's absolutely over the line. Within 1 hour of him sending me that message, he opens a return request and he selects wrong size, does not fit. So okay, wrong size does not fit. I'm okay with that. That's buyer remorse, which means, I don't know if I told you guys the price, but I'll tell you now. It was $40 for the items and $30 shipping. That means when he sends them back, I'll give him back $40. I have no issue with that. So 3 days go by and I don't hear anything, and he doesn't upload any tracking. But he writes to me and says, I want all my money back. Not just the item price, but the original shipping as well. Absolutely not. There's no way in hell he's getting that original shipping back. But I'm not going to argue with him now through messages. I'll just wait till he sends the item back, and I'll give him back the item purchase price. A couple of more days go by, and he writes to me, I need my money back by Saturday at noontime and not 1 minute later. Keep in mind, he hasn't sent anything back or even uploaded tracking to this point. So this is going to be interesting now. So Saturday comes and goes. He hasn't uploaded any tracking. I don't have any hubcaps. Nothing's happened. And of course, I'm not giving him a refund by Saturday at noontime. So Monday, 8 o'clock in the morning, he writes to me, I demand my money back right now or I'm going to eBay. That was Monday. Wednesday comes. If I don't have my money back by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, I am going to report you to eBay. Go ahead. Then he writes, not answering me, huh? Well, okay, I'm going to call eBay about you. Go ahead and call. Instead, you should be uploading the tracking and sending me my item back. So, after that happened, he gets quiet for a while. I don't hear anything about it, and I'm waiting for the case to time out, which it probably won't because eBay is letting these cases drag on forever. However, the other day, Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. All of a sudden, simultaneously, and that's important, the word simultaneously, I get 2 messages from eBay in my inbox. The first message says, a buyer has escalated a case against you. The second message says, we have found in favor of the buyer and we are giving him a full refund of $70 from your account. I was absolutely livid. I don't know which made me madder. There's several things you got to consider here. The buyer opened a case fraudulently, and it looks to me like eBay decided instantly without even reviewing the facts, because I got both messages at the exact same second. I can show you timestamps, I can show you the messages if you want to see them, but put that aside for now. Put that automated stuff aside for now. I called eBay at once. I said, I'm calling them up. They had no right to take my money. Nothing came back. No tracking was uploaded. So I got a customer service representative and I explained the situation and he understood it. And he said, Joseph, he goes, I honestly cannot answer you why this was done to you. I'm going to have to connect with one of my supervisors because these guys are all working from home now because of the coronavirus pandemic. He goes, let me put you on hold and let me check into this. Okay. So he's gone for a few minutes and he comes back. He says, Joseph, good news. We have released the $70. We have issued you a refund and we have reversed our decision. We have decided in your favor. I said, that's great. I said, but could you tell me how such a thing could even happen in the first place? Are there no checks and balances? I said, I would like to know how this case was ruled in the customer's favor when he never sent anything back or uploaded any tracking. So the customer service representative said to me, apparently what happened is the buyer entered false information in the claim. He opened a claim against me, and I think by false information, they meant a false tracking number. But even if the buyer did do that, and I believe he did, why doesn't eBay check? What? It's like a rubber stamp. Seller guilty, seller guilty. I was absolutely beside myself, as I still am. This is a true case, guys. If it happened to me, it can happen to you. The only thing I can suggest is if it does happen to you guys, you have to fight. Stand up against fishy buyers, or if it's a fishy seller, stand up against them too. Right is right. So that, my friends, is my crazy story for the week. That being said, I'd like to remind you that I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Every Friday, and sometimes during the week, I come out here and I make these videos to try and help you stay successful as a seller on eBay. If you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm on point and appreciated. If you don't think I did a good job, tell me in the comment section what you want me to hit up, and I'll be happy to do it next week if possible. Remember, I'm a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind. I've solved a lot of problems. I'm still making money online. I've never worn a mask, and I never will. I will never distort my voice because I feel that is unscrupulous and dishonest. Never going to happen. Hey, I'm a CEO and a CFO of my own company. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Hope you make a lot of money on eBay. Go out there, make a ton of money on eBay. Rock on and peace! And as always, I'm going to close with those 3 words that I want every one of you to live by. I look you in the eye and I say, don't be fishy! Yeah!